Good afternoon. All of you guys have joined this group because you're really interested in becoming the best parent you can be. That's awesome. And so today we're going to look at how you can be the best parent you can be by having self-awareness and using the Enneagram. You can definitely develop a lot of self-awareness about your strengths and weaknesses, your habitual behaviors, your what is the word? Your defense mechanisms, etc. So we're going to look through today and see all the different facets of our self-awareness and how they will affect our parenting when we have knowledge of them and are intentional about knowing them and changing them and adapting ourselves to those things. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you aren't super familiar with the Enneagram or understand it, because I know we have a lot of new people that don't really know a lot about the Enneagram. So I do want to give this overview. And so you see that the Enneagram is a personality tool with 9 different personality types that everybody in the world fits into one of the 9. And your type is based on your core motivations, your fears, desires, weaknesses, and longings. Because of your core motivations, you tend to respond to life in a somewhat predictable way, according to your type. And there's more deeper things you can look at, like your wings and your instincts, etc. That gets a little more complicated. We'll talk about that another time, or you can look back in some of my other live streams where I did speak of those things. Your type reacts in a somewhat predictable way in stress and in growth. Being aware of our unconscious automatic behaviors allows us to grow and change to healthier behaviors. And understanding the other types helps us grow in grace and understanding for others and tailor our communication and behavior to foster harmony. Okay, so in what ways does self-awareness contribute to more effective parenting? Let's look and see. The first way is our personal motivations. So I talked about those core motivations. And if you know your personal motivations, you can understand why you're doing what you're doing. So our core motivations are things like our desire for approval, our fear of failure, our pursuit of perfection, and it's different for each type. And this heightened self-awareness enables you to navigate parenting challenges with greater emotional intelligence. By understanding your own triggers and tendencies, you can respond to your children with patience and empathy, creating a more harmonious parent-child relationship. So we're going to look at most of the core motivations for each type. And this is the core desires for each type. So type 1, their core desire is being good, right, and virtuous. Type 2 is being appreciated, loved, and wanted. Type 3, having a high status, admiration, success, respect. Type 4, being unique, special, authentic. Type 5, being capable and confident. 6, having security, guidance, and support. 7, being happy, fully satisfied, content. Type 8, protecting yourself and those you love. And 9, having inner stability and peace of mind. So knowing those core desires can help you as a parent. And I'm going to give a case study for each of the points that I have today. So let's look at this one regarding personal motivations, the core desires I just mentioned. So Jane discovers that through an assessment of the Enneagram, she's a type 3, the achiever. She realizes her core motivation is driven by a desire for success and achievement. Jane's newfound understanding helps her recognize that she tends to set high standards for herself and her children, seeking external validation, and that other types are not driven the same way she is, and that is how God made us. So the impact of that is that she can shift her parenting approach by not just focusing on her children's external or the family's external achievements, but she can celebrate the other qualities of her children, intrinsic qualities such as their effort, perseverance, and foster a more authentic and supportive environment. Okay, so the next one is recognizing our fears and anxieties. There are specific fears and anxieties associated with each type, and parents can identify and acknowledge their own fears, whether it's a fear of conflict, abandonment, or inadequacy, each type has a different core fear. And so by recognizing your own fears, you can address them consciously and avoid unintentionally projecting your anxieties onto your children, allowing them to navigate their own experiences without unnecessary parental burdens. And here are the core fears for each type. The core fear for type 1 is being wrong or bad. Type 2, being rejected, unwanted, or needy. Type 3, being incompetent or unsuccessful. Type 4, being plain, flawed, or inadequate. Type 5, being thought of as incapable or ignorant, having their resources depleted, like their energy or their space. Type 6, being without support, security, guidance, being blamed or alone. Type 7, being deprived or trapped in emotional pain, being bored. Type 8, being weak or powerless, controlled, vulnerable, manipulated. And type 9, having conflict, tension, being overlooked, losing connection with others. All right, so here's our case study on someone recognizing their fears and anxieties. David's a type 6, the loyalist. Through the Enneagram, he discovers that his underlying fear is often related to concerns about safety and potential conflicts, a lot of times going to the worst case scenario. David realizes that his anxieties can sometimes lead to overprotectiveness and an inclination to be a helicopter parent. By consciously recognizing his fears, David avoids projecting unnecessary anxieties onto his children, promoting resilience, confidence, and independence in his children. All right, the next one is your awareness of your own behavioral patterns. So each Enneagram type has specific patterns of behavior that are typical for that type. And so if you know your typical behavior patterns, both positive and negative, especially the ones that arise in response to stress or challenges, then you can have more intentional responses rather than just a reaction-based behavior or response. So that, of course, would promote healthier interactions with your children. All right, so here are the typical behavior patterns for each type. Type 1 is striving for perfection, following rules meticulously, and can be critical of self and others. Type 2 seeks to assist and please others, often neglecting personal needs to gain approval and avoid rejection. Type 3, driven, ambitious, and success-oriented, focused on accomplishments to gain recognition and affirmation. Type 4 embraces uniqueness, experiences intense emotion, and seeks to be authentically different. Type 5, observant, analytical. They have a tendency to withdraw to conserve energy, accumulating knowledge for a sense of security. Type 6 seeks safety and support, can be cautious and loyal, but may struggle with anxiety and doubt. Type 7 seeks excitement and variety, tends to avoid pain or discomfort, and enjoys exploring new possibilities. Type 8, assertive, protective, and direct, with a focus on control and avoiding vulnerability. And type 9 seeks harmony, tends to avoid conflict, and may disengage or merge with others to maintain peace. So how can that affect our parenting when we understand our behavioral patterns? Sarah is a type 2, the helper. She notices recurring behavioral patterns of overextending herself to meet the needs of others. So the benefit of understanding this pattern allows Sarah to acknowledge the importance of self-care and setting boundaries. The impact in that is that she prioritizes her own well-being and models healthy boundaries for her children. This shift in behavior fosters a more balanced and sustainable family dynamic. All right, conscious parenting choices. Armed with your knowledge about the Enneagram, parents can make conscious choices in their parenting approach. As we've touched on already, the impact of this is that you can tailor your communication and discipline strategies to better suit your children's needs and be a more supportive and understanding parent and provide that environment for your children. So we're going to look at core weaknesses now for each type and then have a case study on the core weaknesses. So type 1, their weakness is that they repress their anger. Type 2, pridefully inserting yourself in others' lives and denying your own needs. Type 3, deceiving yourself by believing you're only the image you present to others. Type 4, believing you are flawed and others have something you lack. Type 5, withholding yourself and resources from the world. Type 6, anxiously trying to predict and prevent negative outcomes. Type 7, insatiably trying to find contentment in experiences to fill up the emptiness inside and avoid difficult feelings. Type 8, being weak, powerless, controlled, vulnerable, or manipulated. And type 9, ignoring reality to keep the peace, remaining easygoing, ignoring desires and passions to keep the peace. And we'll see how knowing our core weaknesses can be helpful. Mike is a father of 2. He's a type 7, the enthusiast. He recognizes his tendency to avoid discomfort and seek excitement. So knowing this, Mike becomes aware of the importance of addressing difficult topics with his children instead of avoiding them. Consciously choosing to engage in open conversations about challenging subjects, Mike creates an environment where his children feel comfortable discussing their feelings and concerns, fostering a deeper connection. All right, acknowledging our strengths and limitations. Understanding our strengths and limitations associated with our type allows us to leverage our positive qualities and address our potential pitfalls. Parents can capitalize on their strengths to create a nurturing and empowering environment while actively working on their areas of improvement. So, of course, it's not all negative. Some of our Enneagram qualities are things we want to change and strengthen, but some of them are wonderful qualities that we need to use and capitalize on in order to provide that for our family who may not be the same type as us, and we can provide whatever that strength is. For example, type 1, they are exceptional at promoting order, justice, and moral integrity in both personal and collective pursuits. Type 2, innately compassionate, nurturing, offering unwavering support to others with a genuine desire to meet others' needs. Type 3 is driven, ambitious, and highly focused on achieving goals with an exceptional ability to inspire and lead. Type 4, deeply creative and introspective, bringing a unique and authentic perspective to the world. Type 5, intellectually curious and analytical, possessing a keen ability to acquire and synthesize knowledge. Type 6, exceptionally loyal, dependable, and vigilant in ensuring the safety and well-being of themselves and others. Type 7, energetic, optimistic, and adventurous, bringing a sense of joy and possibility to every situation. Type 8, bold, assertive, and protective, displaying natural leadership qualities with a commitment to justice and fairness. And type 9, calm and harmonious, adept at maintaining peace and unity by understanding and empathizing with diverse perspectives. Right, in our case study, Laura discovers she is a type 9, the peacemaker. She realizes her innate strength lies in maintaining calm and fostering harmony. Recognizing her strength, Laura consciously channels her harmonizing abilities in parenting. Instead of avoiding conflict, which is her habit, she addresses issues with a calm demeanor, encouraging open communication and ensuring that each family member feels heard. Laura's parenting style not only promotes harmonious family life, but also equips her children with valuable conflict resolution skills, preparing them for healthy relationships. And so, although the tendency might be to withdraw and avoid conflict in the family, knowing that her strength is actually peacemaking, and being calm, she can help harmonize the family and solve some issues that way, and also is modeling for her children peacemaking. All right, so knowing our Enneagram type addresses, we can learn about our biases and our prejudices so that we can obviously not have this. We want to recognize and challenge any of our biases that we may unconsciously hold so we can be more inclusive and open-minded in our family, so we can love and accept our family members the way God made them and others as well, even outside of our family. And an example of that is that Rachel, she's an Enneagram type 1, the reformer. She realizes that her need for control and perfection can sometimes lead to biases against those who do not meet her standards. So the Enneagram highlights types 1 may have a tendency to judge and criticize others based on their ideals of perfection. So Rachel actively engages in self-reflection, challenging her own biases by recognizing that diversity and different perspectives can enhance family dynamics. She teaches her children the importance of embracing differences and letting go of unrealistic expectations, promoting a more inclusive and open-minded family environment. All right, encouraging personal growth. The Enneagram is a tool for personal growth. Parents can use this awareness to engage in self-improvement and develop a more balanced and integrated personality. This growth not only benefits a parent, but sets a positive example for children, emphasizing the value of self-awareness and personal development. And here are the ways each type can grow. Type 1 can embrace flexibility and self-compassion, allowing room for imperfection. Type 2, learn to prioritize self-care and set healthy boundaries to avoid burnout. Type 3, cultivate authenticity by valuing your inherent worth beyond external achievements. Type 4, practice gratitude and focus on the positive aspects to counterbalance intense emotions and self-absorption. Type 5, engage in more social interactions to foster connection and share knowledge with others. Develop trust. Type 6, develop trust in your own judgment and cultivate inner resilience against anxiety. Type 7, face discomfort and learn to commit to responsibilities instead of avoiding challenges. Type 8, channel your strength into vulnerability and explore empathy to deepen connections. And Type 9, embrace discomfort and express your needs assertively to avoid complacency. And here's our example of growth. Lisa is a Type 4. She identifies with a deep desire of authenticity and fears being ordinary. She realized her pursuit of individuality sometimes leads to intense emotions and a tendency to focus on what's lacking, which impacts her parenting. So for her growth, she consciously redirects her focus from what's missing to what is present, her gratitude for all that she has, and it encourages a more optimistic mindset in her parenting approach. She learns to express her emotions in a healthy way with her children, creating space for authentic conversations and teaching them to value emotional expression. All right, so that's all I have for today. And just to summarize, knowing your Enneagram type and all the very many layers of the Enneagram can be a profound opportunity for self-discovery and self-awareness, which leads to more conscious and effective parenting, creates a supportive and nurturing environment for your whole family. And how do we learn more about the Enneagram? There's lots of books out there. There's podcasts, being part of an awesome Enneagram parenting group, or investing in an Enneagram coach. Those can help guide you down the path of self-discovery so you can apply the insight you gain to be the best parent you can be. If you are interested in knowing more about the Enneagram at all, if you have questions, I'd love for you to set up a free discovery call right here at this link. No pressure. It's totally free call. Or if you're interested in knowing more about how to figure out your Enneagram type or have questions about that, please feel free to reach out. If you have any questions about this content, you also can direct message me or leave a comment and I'll respond. So I hope this was informative for everybody. And I thank you for paying attention.